so we're going to dive into this one head first. So we've had some questions about the layout of our programming here at the gym. It's something that I've always been transparent with in terms of telling people what we're doing, why we're doing it. I've always been a big believer that gym owners should be educating their members on things we're doing, the reasoning behind them. So I love when people question us and quiz us on why we're doing things. There's no one way to skin the cat, but this is kind of how we've laid things out going forwards, that we hope it allows people to be generally physically prepared in terms of being balanced with their fitness and their training, from a strength perspective, from a fitness conditioning perspective. So how we lay our weeks out, we kind of lay it out in like a 2-week format: Alpha week, Bravo week. Okay, so we know sometimes with people with their training, because of the things and commitments they have in outside the gym, work, family, etc., is that they may only be able to come on certain days of the week. So if we always do the same thing on the same day, it means that people don't get necessarily exposure to other things. If they only come on a Monday and they don't come on a Tuesday, etc., etc. So how we're going to lay things out going forwards should give you the opportunity to touch upon all aspects of training. So if we quickly run through how a week looks, we'll start with the Alpha week. I'm going to try and lay it out in simple terms for people to understand. On Mondays, we generally will look at doing some sort of knee flexion activity. So simple terms, some sort of squat-based activity. And we'll follow that up generally with some form of lower body pulling and upper body pushing conditioning, or conditioning-based work. So that will give people an idea that, say we may deadlift with our conditioning and do some sort of maybe burpee alongside it, which will be a nice complementary lower pull and upper push. Tuesdays, we generally do some form of skill-based training, skill-based metcon, and a little bit of structural work in there. So, following what's quite a high-intensity day, we maybe back off the intensity a little bit on a Tuesday just to keep things balanced. Looking forward to Wednesday, on the Alpha week, we do some form of bending activity. So think of it as like a deadlift, which will again complement the work we've done on a Monday. And then our conditioning work will look again complementary. Now we'll look at some sort of lower push and upper pull based metcon, which will complement the work that we did on the Monday. Thursday, generally a nice day for people to either take a rest day. We also offer it as an opportunity to catch up on a missed workout they've not done earlier in the week. Or it's an opportunity to attend one of our specialty classes. So kettlebell class is really popular in here. Strongman class, or a yoga class if you want to do a bit more of an active rest. Looking at Fridays, we generally do some form of upper body pushing. On the Alpha week, that's vertical pushing, with some sort of interval-based conditioning to follow it up. Saturdays generally have always been like a fun day in the gym, so we generally use it as a day to do some sort of tester workout or a benchmark CrossFit workout, or people to come in and do one of our specialty classes in the form of weightlifting or the skill classes, which we now introduced. Sundays, to bring us to the end of the week, people would usually either take a rest day, or if they still want to train, they might do something a little less intense, and that's why we offer a partner workout on a Sunday, so it doesn't impact the following week too much, but still gives people a chance to come in and do something. So that's how our Alpha week is laid out. Now, what we're going to try going forwards is just flipping things around on the Bravo week, which is hopefully where I'm going to be able to explain that now. Is we generally change around the days so people do get that exposure to things that they may have not had on the Alpha week. So, if you follow, on the Monday, we're going to basically be doing what we did on the Wednesday on the previous week. So, we're looking at some sort of bending activity to start things out for our strength work. So that'll be some form of deadlifting generally. And then it will follow up with some sort of lower body pushing and upper body pulling based conditioning. So think of it as, say, some form of squatting coupled with pull-ups as our conditioning, which kind of mimics what we did on the previous Wednesday for people to have that exposure to it. Tuesdays on the Bravo week are going to be some form of upper body pushing, again, but this time in a horizontal plane, which will look like what we've done on the Friday in the previous week, with our interval-based conditioning on that day going forwards. Generally with our interval work, people pick up on progressions that we use and from week to week and notice those changes going forwards, which is great, and allows them to track their progress with it as well. So Wednesdays are going to look a lot like the Mondays did on the previous week, where we're going to be doing some sort of knee flexion activity to start things out, so some sort of squatting based activity. On the Alpha week it was a front squat, on the Bravo week it's going to be a back squat. So people can see the themes going forwards with that. Our conditioning for the day on Wednesdays for the Bravo week will be some sort of lower body pulling. So again, think of something like a deadlift or some form of Olympic lifting with an upper body pushing activity coupled with it. Generally we work a lot in couplets and triplets in terms of our conditioning based work. Thursdays will look exactly like the previous week, where it's an opportunity to rest, catch up on a missed workout, and attend a kettlebell, strongman or yoga class. Fridays on the Bravo week are going to look exactly like our Tuesdays did on the Alpha week. They're going to be skill-based training, or Metcons. Generally use this as an opportunity for people to practice and start to implement higher skills in a controlled setting, so they can actually develop them to put into workouts further down the line. So we found that to be a really useful day for people to come in and use that as an opportunity to further their ability in certain areas. We'll also include some form of structural work there as well. Keeps the body nice and healthy in terms of working in things like single arm, single leg work, to make sure that we are strong enough through our connective tissues to be able to do more complex activities. So that one is always a one that I'm a big fan of, people making sure they include in their training. Saturdays will look exactly the same as previous week, where it's some sort of fun tester workout. People like to get in, have a laugh, get out, get on with their weekends. So generally it's quite short and intense, and is a nice opportunity for us to have some fun on a Saturday morning. And Sundays again will look exactly like the previous week. Rest day, partner workout, possible catch-up workout for people as well. So we hope that gives you a bit of an overlay of how things look for us in the gym. Like I said, I've always been very open with people about how we do things here. I like feedback in terms of how people are finding things, so please come and talk to me or one of the coaches about things that we've laid out here, or if you want a little bit more insight into why we're doing things. And I hope that helps going forwards with our programming.